Where's your mama?
Coming.
Ah.
She wanted to finish breakfast.
Crazy. All right. I mean, those are groovy pants.
Thank you.
Like, way in my playbook there.
Oh yeah, I was like, I mean, I tried it this morning, so I have to.
I love it. Hey, Noah! Noah. Hold on, I'll start in a second. I have to hug Noah.
So next Friday is going to be support Shabbat. So it would be the first Friday in September. And that's as far as
Shabbat Shalom.
when they do their Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Here, I'm gonna. So, it's kind of a double Shabbat, right? Since it's the Shabbat of Labor Day weekend. And you know, Labor Day actually, in a lot of ways, has Jewish roots. It's not, obviously, Labor Day is for all of us, no matter what walk of life or religion or culture we identify with. But, you know, Shabbat, the reason we're here, or at least the main reason that we have this service, actually is where the whole idea, the labor movement sort of took this notion of a day off, a day where you didn't have to go to work and that nobody could control your behavior, or no one could control your time, you know? And Shabbat's this day off. And it really was the basis for the weekend, which is certainly was one of, in the early days of the labor movement, one of the demands and the advocacy of the labor movement was for some time off for workers, for rest, for restoration, for family, for renewal. And then, of course, you know, many of those early labor activists, and to this time, were Jewish. And when I take the confirmation kids to New York and we see the site of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in Greenwich Village, really, again, one of the moments that's marked as a birth point of the modern labor movement. You know, we really are here for each other, and that includes people who, well, we've started to call in the pandemic era frontline workers. You know, people who just who do their jobs, and they're necessary jobs, and sometimes they fly under the radar and they shouldn't. should be valued and appreciated and respected and treated with justice. So on this Shabbat that precedes Labor Day, we are doubly appreciative of this time we have in the Jewish tradition to take time for our souls, for relationships over commerce, for singing and to cultivate joy. And for that reason and many more, I'm just so glad we're here. So I invite you, while we sing our opening melody, to take a look around. There's a phrase in one of the Shabbat songs called Pnei Shabbat. And it's translated as the presence of Shabbat. We welcome the presence of the Sabbath on Friday night in Lecha Dodi. But the literal translation is actually even more delicious than the translation that's used. Pnei Shabbat literally means the faces of Shabbat. And take a look around. Hi, Octavio, you come in. He's checking us out. That's Octavio, everybody. We appreciate you, Octavio. We are the faces of Shabbat in this time and place. So, some of these people you know so well, that you're family and dear friends. Though I'm sure there's people here for everyone that you maybe you've only seen once or twice or have never seen before. But for the time that we're here, we are all the faces of Shabbat. So get used to each other. Give yourself permission to look around and see who is here, who is gathering, and take a deep breath, a deep cleansing breath. We're just going to sing a melody. No words. I love it when Dave is in the front row. Keeps me honest. No words, just breath and spirit and sound and song. You'll catch on if you haven't heard this before, and if you have, help everybody else out. We're just going to sing this a couple of times. We got a great crew here of Leslie and Avi, and Bryn is right there. There you are, Bryn. Yep. So they're going to help us as well. We're grateful for all the music and song on Shabbat. So let's sing together. Here we go. Yai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai. Try that part again. Yai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Yai-lai-lai, yai-lai-lai-lai. Amen. Now we can look at the book a little bit. The Siddur, which means order, kind of like related to the Seder, the Passover Seder. So there's an order to our prayers and to our rhythms. We'll start on page 51, the Shabbat morning service. The way we're taught, the way we're advised to start every day as much as we possibly can. It's not always easy. Maybe it's not always possible, but it's our goal, is to start each day with appreciation, with gratitude. And that's what the tradition says. It says the first prayer, if we're praying when we wake up, is this prayer. Modeh moda ani just means I am thankful. And really what it goes on to say is, if you can't think of anything right now to be thankful, and there's so many challenges, and there's so much sadness, what you can be thankful for is that you woke up. You know, everything else will unfold as the day goes on. But just to be thankful that we woke up and opened our eyes and we have another day to meet others and to be the receiver of mitzvahs and the doer of mitzvahs. So let's chant this prayer. We'll use, you can use any term you want. There's a lot of different euphemisms that we call spirit or God or the divine. Melech is the traditional. I tend to sing Ruach most often. God as the ruler of life or as the spirit of life. But in any event, we'll all be chanting together this morning prayer of gratitude. It goes like this. Modeh ani lefanecha ruach chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha ruach chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha. Modeh ani lefanecha. Modeh ani lefanecha ruach chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha ruach chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha. Modeh ani lefanecha. Amen. Page 52. This is another way we lift up our eyes and see each other and welcome each other and exclaim, Matovu, how good it is to be together. And I know people are here for all different reasons, for many reasons. What brought you here this morning, and we're thinking about you, Jen. I just in the still the Shiva period, losing your wonderful mother, Beth. So I hope you feel, surrounded by people who love you and who want to be there for you in this time of grief. And at the other side of the coin, we're also here to celebrate Joy's 80th birthday. Right? That's exactly, yeah. And I was going to say, there's a lot of people here who are here to, friends of Joy, to celebrate, but it's sort of a misnomer, because everybody here is a friend of Joy's, even if you've never met her. It's really very true. So thank you for coming here, for bringing family and friends, for bringing your granddaughter to sing with us. And we're looking forward to many, many birthday blessings. And for all the reasons that we've come here this morning, it is good. It is tov. And so let's sing this blessing. And really, that's exactly what it is. A blessing for one another and for being here in this time and place for Shabbat. It's on page 52. Yai la lai lai, yai la lai lai, yai la lai lai lai, lai lai lai, hai la lai lai lai, yai la lai lai lai, la lai lai, yai la lai lai lai, yai lai lai, hai la lai lai lai. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la. Yai la 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 la. Here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hi Ellen, Shabbat Shalom. Pages 53 and 54. These are called Berchot HaShachar. Shachar is the Hebrew word for the dawn. Luckily, we're a few hours removed from the dawn. Maybe some of us saw the actual dawn, but it's good to kind of, maybe sleep a little bit past that, unless you're into that. Some people are into that, and I am not judging this at all. But the idea is, to again, after that initial expression of gratitude upon waking up, then is to realize that there's other blessings as well. And so the Talmud gives us this list of blessings that we've sort of adapted and reformed and modernized over the years, but it's still a list of blessings, things that we might kind of not even think of as miracles or as wondrous things, but that really when we think about it, they're truly blessings. So we'll in Hebrew and in English, we'll chant, daven, the list of blessings that the tradition has handed down to us, and we've sort of, again, reformed, changed, tinkered with, but it's still kind of very similar to what was written thousands of years ago. But then we'll have a chance. Anybody that wants to raise their hand after we sing the first words of the blessing, if you want to add a spontaneous expression of gratitude, something that's happened already today, this morning, that has been holy or meaningful or significant to you, and we'll fill this space with even more blessings, with all the things that we are amazed at and that help us on the path. But first, the blessings on the pages 53 and 54, we chant together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzalmo. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has created me in your image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, malbish arumim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who provides clothes for the needy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten liyayif koach. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who gives strength to the weak. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher hechin mitzadei gaver. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who guides the steps of human beings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Joy, appropriately. First blessing. Yeah. 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 Something really good. And, Ann and Bob from Massachusetts and Noah from Colorado, and, says in the Psalms, and it's part of our service, Ma rabu ma'asecha. Sometimes creation, our lives are just so awesome. And I'm glad you're feeling that, because we're feeling it for you. So, many, many blessings to come. But for reaching this incredible milestone moment and many more blessings to come.
And we're
Amen.
And we're glad that you're here to be joyifying us on a regular basis.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Yes, Annie. Mazel tov. Are we saying which one? It's up to you. No? Nothing. Happy birthday. Mazel tov. 25. Yom Huledet Sameach. Welcome, you guys. Hi. Good to see ya. Everyone's here to celebrate Joy's birthday. That's pretty cool. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Dr. Samet. I love when doctors give doctor-appropriate blessings. Totally makes sense. But you're right. You're right. I was so glad to see that humanitarian news, and I too am thankful for it. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Yes. Yes, thank you for reminding us. Our wonderful Chelsea, who we miss in the booth with Michael because she's off at school, at college. There was an article in The Guardian, which I'm pretty sure is from the United Kingdom. It's not even American. So, it's global. So she was not only mentioned, but her picture was on the very front of the article. So, Michael, are you in touch with Chelsea? Michael? You are? Will you tell her that we mentioned her in services and it was a blessing that she was profiled in The Guardian? Okay.
We find it online. We see the article.
Making many friends, but hopefully she doesn't forget us. Okay. You can go back in there now. Oh, it was about the trans community and about the need for more advocacy, and Chelsea was profiled. So you check it out. Just Google Chelsea and Guardian. Amen. These are good ones, you guys. Is there another? We have another one or two. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Jennifer. Yeah. 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 Your wonderful mother. Extraordinary. And you could feel it just entering the room wherever she was. She just was able to sort of cultivate that kind of power, and energy and love and wit, right? We're so sorry for your loss. But you're right, it's also, I know, a blessing for you and your family, your siblings, your children, grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, right? Amen. So keep on. Oh, we have one more. No, let's do the thing here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Sir.
I have to comment about joy. Because we were here for a gathering about 40 years ago, and a little bit less than that. And somebody came and met me, who I knew Joy from Boston, and they said, Bob, how are you connected? And Joy was just walking by without batting an eyelash. She responded by love.
Mm.
And I think any of us who have met Joy knows that she's connected to all of us by love.
Connected by love. It might even bring someone here from Sharon, Massachusetts. You never know. Let's, No, there's no cheers. I have to draw the line somewhere. Because. I was going to do that, Jamie, thank you. I want to have everyone think about something that you're thankful for right now. Maybe you're thankful for the blessings, or something else. Really kind of internalize it and feel it and appreciate it. Rabbi Heschel called it radical awe, to just be in awe of the good things in life. There's enough schmutz that we have to deal with. We shouldn't ignore the blessings. So now, with Jamie, let's sing Amen. Amen. Thank you. On page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uchayedecho bet Yisrael bagala uvizman karib v'meru amen yehi shmei Rabba mivorach Le'olam omeomaya b'chata v'nechemata dahamiran be'alma v'meru amen. We're on page 59. This is our kind of customary call to prayer. So everything that came before it, the songs and the blessings, this was all sort of warm up, kind of getting us into the spirit of Shabbat prayer, of this Shabbat gathering. And now the formal start to the service. So I'll ask anyone that's able to please stand. The ancient Baruch Hu itself is on page 59. As I said, we're going to sing some words that we've been singing to precede the Baruch Hu. We call that kavanah, something that we hope helps bring out the intention, the spirit of Baruch Hu. If you know it, sing it. If you don't, you'll catch on. And there's a lot of lie line, so we can all kind of be part of the choir. Yada lie lie lie, 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 yada lie lie lie. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada lie lie lie, 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 yada lie lie lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yada lie lie lie, 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 yada lie lie lie. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Stay standing. Let's go all the way to Shema, page 64. Happens to be the Shabbat before the new moon. And it's always significant, each new moon in the Jewish tradition, where we have a lunar calendar. So the moons are really important. And actually, the name of the moons of the month are on our mosaic in the Oneg room. This new moon, however, has extra layer of meaning. For next week will be the new moon of Elul. And Elul is the preparation month for the high holidays. It's the month before Rosh Hashanah. And the tradition teaches us if we're so inclined, we can use this month to really get ready for transformation, to go deeper, to forgive others and forgive ourselves. To take this opportunity of a whole month, which does go by fast, but it still gives us lots of time, so that when we do gather together for Erev Rosh Hashanah, we will be really ready to enter a new year filled with hope and filled with the knowledge that change is possible, that we can be our best selves. So let this Shema carry the intention of launching us into Elul, of launching us into this very, very holy time of year on the Jewish calendar. So I invite you once again to take a nishima amukah, a deep and cleansing breath. Breathe into your souls. Fill yourself with your potential, with the potential of the universe to bend towards justice. Fill yourself with more courage and more strength and more generosity and more love, connected by love. You know, it could be the way we talk about the Shema, connected by love. What connects us, disparate people throughout the universe? The love. So right there on page 64, written out just like it looks like in the Torah scroll. Let's all sing together in our various and varied voices. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated. Page 65, the actual words that follow the Shema in the Torah, in Deuteronomy. We just had it a couple of weeks ago. This is Ve'ahavta, more love. Why not? Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lektecha v'aderech u'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafo bein einecha u'chtavtam al mizuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. And that. 68, page 68. This is a freedom song. It's in the spot of the service we reserve for redemption prayers, for the hope that things can get better, that the way things are, where they're broken, can be healed and fixed and repaired. I brought some props that I'm going to talk about later, but you know, I put on the social media this really significant loss in the Jewish community. Michael Lerner passed away, Rabbi Michael Lerner, who was the editor, founder, publisher of this magazine, this incredible journal called Tikkun. I have like 50 back issues in my office. I can't bear to part with them. But that's the word. He named his magazine Tikkun, which we know is our Hebrew word for fixing and for repair. And it goes into that phrase, Tikkun Olam, repair of the world. And That's part of our mission, not only as Jews, but as human beings. I'll get back to that in a little bit. But as I was thinking about Mi Chamocha now, we all have images, I think, when a theme is talked about or a prayer with a theme is talked about. This is obviously a passage in the Torah that describes the Exodus and that moment of liberation and freedom. And I have to say, of the many things Joy is involved with, whose birthday we're celebrating, is this incredible refugee resettlement group who has just been a light to a family from Afghanistan and a couple from Ukraine, and there's more people coming who need to flee desperate situations. That's a liberation. To be able to go from a place that is harmful and frightening and dangerous to your children to a place that is safe. And one of the people, a dear friend with Joy on the group, sent me a picture. Am I allowed to say it? Okay. Too late, Randy, right? Yeah. A picture of people on an airplane. It was right, it was two people, though. Was it a mother and daughter? Or? It was a father and mother and two sons. Yeah. That left Afghanistan. Yeah. They're part of the family, Muhammad's family. Yeah. Who were here already. It's his sister and brother. On their way to Qatar. Yeah. On their way to Qatar. And now they're in Qatar, and we just heard that they passed all their interviews with the government, our government, and then Congo. Unbelievable. So, Yasher Koach. The picture, as Joy was saying, was an airplane, the airplane of freedom, of liberation, of redemption, bringing this family to join their family, who are really our family, to eventually be here. Sounds like maybe in time for Rosh Hashanah, right? So really, what more can we ask for to give us, to point us towards the possibility of something better? So let's sing Mi Chamocha. Let's think about the story of the Hebrew slaves escaping slavery. Let's think about the family on their way to their new home in St. Louis. And let's think about how we can turn injustice into justice and how we can turn oppression into freedom. Yai lai lai lai, a lai la lai. Yai lai lai lai, a lai la lai. Yai lai lai lai, a lai la lai. Ya la lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai, ya la lai. Yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai la lai, yai lai lai lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot, hosei fele, hosei fele. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. Yayim loch le'olam va'ed, Yayim loch le'olam va'ed. Yayim loch le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai. Amen. Turn together, please, to page 70. An auspicious and a sacred number, right? Anything to do with 7 in Jewish spirituality reminds us of wholeness, the seventh day, which is this day, Shabbat. So 7 is one of those mystical numbers. We have 7 little square windows right behind me above the ark. Again, sort of reminding us of our quest for wholeness and for holiness. So these are the prayers of tefillah. These are considered the sort of the holiest prayers in the service, the central prayers. And so I'll ask if you're able once again to please stand. We begin with a phrase from the Psalms, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. It's the psalm of openness. Patach is the Hebrew way to say open. Liftach is to open. Liftoch. So what is it? It's about open arms so we can welcome each other like we've been doing. And it's open minds, right? All the ideas that can propel us forward. And open souls, open doors, to make sure that anyone that needs to be here with us can be here. And then, as the psalm says, our mouths should be open for purpose. Our mouths should be open for words of kindness, for words of generosity, for words that make the world a better place. We're taught that a word can create a whole world. That's what Genesis is all about. With a word, worlds are created. With other kinds of words, worlds are destroyed. So let's open our mouths for words that heal, words that create.
Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Hay lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 Sifatai Tita. Yai lai 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Hay lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 Sifatai Tita. Yai lai 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 Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Yai lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 Sifatai Tita. Yai lai 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 Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ay lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 Sifatai Tita. Yai lai 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 Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Bilcha, Elohei Zilpah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chazei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, l'ma'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozir u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Let's turn together to page 72 and read the English interpretation of the Avot v'imahot prayer. Praise be the God of our ancestors, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, of Sarah, of Rebekah, of Leah, and of Rachel, of Bilhah and Zilpah. Praise be the source of strength and courage, the source of kindness and good deeds. Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words. Praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the person who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others. Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah. Praise be the God who infused humanity with divine potential. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atzar avra hoshia, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh holim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al givurot, umido melach, melech menit, umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol, baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Pages 74 and 75, in some ways this is also what it's all about, holiness. We attempt over and over and over again, and in this moment, most poignantly, to fill in the spaces between us. And sometimes they are vast. We attempt to fill in the spaces between us with Kedusha, with holiness.
Nekadesh Shemcha ba'olam.
Shem Shem B'Kdishim Otol B'Shmei Marom, Kakatuv al yad neviyecha, v'kav zeh ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivaot, Melech haaretz, Kivodo. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Mahadir, Shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch kivod Adonai, Mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu v'hu Yashminu, b'rachamav le'nei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Imloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Tzion, Lidor Vador, Hallelujah. Lidor Vador Nogigo Lecha, Unetzach Netzachim Kishudacha Nagdish, Ushivchecha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. I had a really wonderful Shabbat moment, even before Shabbat yesterday. I was going to tell this story. Many of you know we have this early child care center here. We call it the Nest. And they're the littlest of the babies, you know, that are around at CRC. And the rabbis here, we take turns doing Shabbat with the Nest kids. They're not all Jewish, but we do this wonderful Shabbat moment where we sing and tell stories. And it was my turn, but before I came to the Nest Shabbat, which is in the morning, I had breakfast with a congregant who, many of you know, who has a horse. And she's had a number of horses. Actually, her horse, Shadow, is one of the pictures on our wonderful pictorial history of CRC, because Shadow had a barn mitzvah. True exact story. So anyway, now she has Mel, and Mel lives in a barn out west, and Harriet gave me this little nest that was not made out of twigs
and branches, but it was made out of horsehair. The birds that live at the barn, or in the area of the barn, collect the horsehair. She said sometimes they even sit on top of the horse and pluck a few strands. But mostly they're on the ground, and they make these amazing nests. And Harriet gave me one, and I brought it to the kids of the nest, and I was telling them all about the nest. And at that very moment, Julie Lazaroff walked in with these incredible, beautiful flowers that were grown, that our wonderful mitzvah farm garden volunteers grow, not just food, but beautiful flowers. So I had a chance to tell that really adorn our sanctuary, and they have been for many weeks. And I told the kids, as we saw Julie come in with the flowers, about this wonderful expression we have in Jewish life called Prachim Lichvod Shabbat. Has anyone heard of Prachim Lichvod Shabbat? It means flowers to honor the Sabbath. And you'll see sometimes people buying flowers at Schnucks to bring home for Shabbat dinner. It's kind of a thing in Israel. When Amy and I lived in Israel, it was a big deal to find the right flowers to beautify. Shabbat's already beautiful, and then you're supposed to make it even more beautiful. So I don't know, something with the nest and the flowers, it was like, I felt like I was, back in the woods. But, it was a good feeling, and I'm so happy that we can have this synthesis of urban and rural and nature and, everything that helps elevate Shabbat, which is what it's supposed to be, a time of elevation and transcendence. So we sing about that on page 76. V'shamru, when we keep Shabbat, when we're intentional about it, when we know it's there to give us holiness and meaning, Shabbat then keeps us on the path to improving our lives, improving, we hope, the lives of others, and overall making the world a better place. So when we leave here, hopefully we leave transformed, a little bit better than when we came in, ready to do that work, bringing holiness to one and all. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledoratam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledoratam berit olam. Beini uvein v'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledoratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledoratam berit olam. U'v'yom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledoratam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledoratam berit olam. Ledoratam berit olam. Amen. Let's turn, please, to page 79. At the bottom of the page, we have on this page a number of possibilities for this moment. Supposed to be peace prayers, prayers for peace and shalom, for wholeness. I've been choosing lately, just been speaking to me, the bottom song or prayer, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Really just a contemporary prayer that has sort of become ubiquitous in the liberal, progressive Jewish world, written by a rabbi who's now in Berkeley.
And the last time I saw his synagogue, his name is, remember? No? Thank you, Menachem Creditor. Wow. You would win like Jewish trivia if...
It's in the Siddur.
No, I know. And right. And he actually, he was the assistant rabbi at Temple Israel in Sharon. But then he went to Berkeley. Then he went to Berkeley, and he's much better suited, nothing against Sharon, but he's much better suited for Berkeley than Sharon. Okay, people. I love this. So anyway, Menachem Creditor wrote this prayer, but I guess what I also want to say, and obviously I've been thinking about Michael Lerner. He was one of my teachers, and I think an inspiration to so many people, and really just really an incredible force in Jewish life. The last time I saw Michael Lerner was at that conference in Berkeley at Menachem Creditor's synagogue. It was a really beautiful conference. It was at the same time as the last solar eclipse before the one that was in the spring. And imagine all these people from this Jewish it was Truah, Jewish human rights. Imagine us all like we were kind of doing all this, talking and singing about liberation and Jewish activism. And then we all went out to put on our glasses and look at the eclipse, And Michael Lerner was right there, looking at the eclipse with us. So anyway, this is Menachem Creditor's prayer. Yes?
Michael says he lost your guitar.
Lost my guitar? It's right here. How's that? Is it found? We had this wonderful opportunity, thanks to the Lazaroffs, to see Yo-Yo Ma. Amazing Grace was one of he played sort of a medley. Amazing Grace. I don't know what to say. We okay? All right. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Rabbi Menachem Creditor, and now it belongs to all of us, about building the world with chesed, with grace and love and kindness and goodness. I don't care. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yada Lai Dai Dai, Yada Dai Dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yada Dai, Yada Dai, Yada Dai Dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yada Dai, Yada Dai, Yada Dai Dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yada Dai Dai Dai, Yada Dai Dai. I will build this world from love. Yada Dai Dai Dai, Yada Dai Dai. And you must build this world from love. Yada Dai Dai Dai, Yada Dai Dai. And if we build this world from love, yada, 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 then God will build this world from love. Yada, 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 yada. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, yada, 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 Olam Chesed Yibaneh, 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 yada, Yadai, yadai. Page 117. Preparation for high holidays, I've been calling all the charter members of CRC who are still here in St. Louis, inviting them to do various things, honors for the holy days for our, as it is our 40th year as a congregation. And thought about them because I've been, some I know really well and some I know just a little bit. I think the Yushitels are on that list, right, of charter members, and Susan Spiegel, and Harriet, and Ray. Wow, so we have a lot of charters here. We could start a charter school, or not. That was not political. That was flippant, so I'm sorry. But I was thinking, when I said page 117, if you guys that were here at the beginning imagined a Siddur of over 100 pages, I think the first one was stapled together, 6 pages, mimeograph, which nobody even knows what that means anymore. I still don't know what mimeograph means, right? David Levy knows what it means, right? Yeah. Yeah, right. So, but here we are, a prayer book of 170 pages and more, and this is another prayer for peace that not only uses the Hebrew term for peace, which we use all throughout the service, shalom, but also the word in Arabic for peace, salam. And I have to think again about Rabbi Michael Lerner, who was always in the forefront of Jewish activism in terms of bridging, doing the really hard and seemingly insurmountable work of bridging Arabs and Jews and Palestinians and Israelis. He had a son, Akiva, who was in the IDF. And I don't know, Amy, if you remember this, Michael Lerner was in Israel while the year we lived there. He came to visit his son. And even at that time, right after Oslo, he was pushing and fighting and advocating for peace against all odds, especially at that moment and now especially at this moment. So this is a prayer for shalom and salam, for shanti, any way we can say peace. And of course, we're thinking of the hostages that are in Gaza and their families all over the world, really, and Gazans, who are caught in the crossfire. So, it feels like an impossible situation, but sometimes the most impossible situations, somehow we find a way. I think about apartheid and how insurmountable that seemed. And then, Nelson Mandela was president of South Africa. So I'm hoping and praying for peace and for justice and for security for all, for shalom and for salam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom, salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Here we go. Sing it with me. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom, salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu. O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Amen. Amen. All right. I would like to ask, I guess the second row here, surrounding Joy and Bryn, if you can sort of take your place with your family, because I'm going to invite, as we start the Torah service, all of you, Jamie and Dave and Noah, Bob and Ann and Bryn, and of course Joy, family, more family, to come on up to help us start this Torah service that includes a celebration of your 80th birthday. So come on up. Good crew. I'd like to ask everyone now to please stand. Family. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I used to, whenever I use this and pass it around for people, I used to always use the name Phil Donahue, who's passed away, because that was his shtick, right? So anyway, this family. Wow, look at you guys. Someone should take this picture. That's too how did you pose for a picture? Oh, okay. Anyway, we love this family in so many different ways. Their involvement in CRC, from the board to grief group, to our music, to everything that Joy does, to following Noah as he, kind of climbs mountains and, makes us all proud. And the notion that you're here to celebrate Joy's birthday is just so obvious. And that you want to share it with your community, with your congregation, is also so obvious. And of course, we're thinking about David, your beloved, and who we all love and miss, our lifeguard, who's, I know somehow his presence is here as we have Shabbat and as we celebrate. So I'm going to put this down. Who wants a Torah? Yeah? Oh, I know she's strong.
But not the teak one.
Would I do that to you?
We'll get the cheek now.
Maybe the little.
I got you. All right. Joy, stern it. Got it. Come front and center here. Whew. A Shema. Okay, I have a Shema. Another Shema. So that this can be a time of listening and learning and connection and joy. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. And if you will, if you haven't already done so, you can put your books, your papers down in the chair so your hands are free for clapping and your whole being is free for celebrating this moment of Torah, of this family of joy. And we have the fiddler and Avi. Wow, you also play piano? And yeah. Yes. Beautiful. We've got the Lazarus brothers and Lila, and so we're gonna really celebrate. So in the words of the ancient Hebrew prophets, we say, "Hit it, go!" Whenever you're ready. Thanks, crew. Thanks, Raina and Lila and all the musicians. Now that we've kind of gotten our spilkies out, Joy, you're coming up here. No, not, listen, I know, I know that there's going to be all kinds of blessings and celebrations, but the fact that we get to be one of the first of this 80th birthday is really an honor, truly an honor. So I wanted to do a few things. One is to say that, we're in this book of Deuteronomy. And, Joy also, among all the things that she does, Joy's part of an interfaith dialogue group, and kind of is one of the Jewish representatives, and will often come to me and talk Torah with me.
And say help.
No. It's kind of like Chevruta. We help each other. Joy will say, "Oh, the theme is, family," or the theme is, war, angels, and let's talk about the Jewish perspective, and we'll have a great conversation. And then I don't know what happens from there, but I'm sure you enlighten all the people from all the different faith groups, just like they enlighten you. I mean, everything you do is all about just, about love, and it's really amazing that you do that. So so I'm going to tell you about these books of these portions of the Torah that we started a few weeks ago. They always hit in the summertime. Deuteronomy, this sort of second telling of the Torah. The tradition says it's from Moses' point of view, but you know, because you're in interfaith study, there's lots of different ideas about that. And many modern people and scholars say, well, it's supposed to be from Moses' point of view, but it's just another way of reframing the Torah stories. It's like a retelling in one, what took 3 books, because Genesis doesn't really count in this context, but Exodus and Leviticus and Numbers are kind of encapsulated in a little bit of a different way in Deuteronomy. But one of the themes of Deuteronomy that pops up over and over and comes up in this portion for sure, and we always talk to the kids about it when they're having their bar mitzvahs, are blessings and curses, right? And it's really something amazing to look, if you look at the whole book of Deuteronomy as a whole and you sort of keep score of the blessings and curses, guess what? More curses. It's like, but, you know, oh, Joyce says, oh, shoot. No, but that means that the blessings are more special, and we have to appreciate them and hold tight to them and spread them. There is not one thing about you that has anything to do with curse, Joyce Sternick. It's all blessing. It's all blessing. And so I want to sing a Shechianu for this moment, this 80th birthday celebration that's beginning right now. How lucky are we? Because that's a blessing. It's a blessing to not only for you to arrive at this really significant milestone moment, but it's a blessing for all of us that you've sharing it with us, Joy. So we'll sing the kind of happy birthday stuff later, but for now, you know, this feels just so holy and so appropriate for the blessing that you are, and for the blessings that you share, for the blessing of being able to celebrate your 80th birthday with you and your friends and family and community. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed is the Holy One, whose presence fills creation, whose presence fills this place for you and because of you. The one who gave us our lives and kept us alive so that we could reach Lazman Hazeh, this moment, filled with blessing. Let us say Amen, and a little Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. All right. Yeah. Stay here. You're almost done.
Okay.
Tell me that Hebrew name again.
Chaya Surah.
Chaya Surah. And I know your mom of blessed memory was Golda.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And her picture's on our wall.
Yeah.
Chaya Surah.
Yeah.
So your Hebrew name is life.
Yeah.
Your everyday name is joy, and your Hebrew name is life. Enough said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'Torah. I'm going to be chanting actually from the very beginning the very end of the portion. I chose that for a reason. I like what it says here at the end, and I am staying away from the curses. But I also like that I'm staring, and Joy is staring, and you guys too, and I'll bet you the people watching us on stream get to see it up close. The first word of the next portion, which is such an important word, shoftim, judges and justice. The next portion is the one that has tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. And that's one of the things that Joy is all about, pursuing justice and equality and goodness. You know, there was a time we talked about having that emblazoned on the wall up there, below the 7 windows and above the ark, we were dreaming about tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. So that's coming next week. But first I'm going to read the ending of Re'eh, this Torah portion. Chant it with joy here as our Aliyah. And get there in one second. There it is. Okay. Shalosh pe'amim b'shana. And so 3 times a year, Yir'eh kol zechurcha et panei Adonai Elohecha. 3 times a year, you shall appear. It actually says all the males shall appear, but I'm going to say you all should appear before your God. Bamakom asher yivchar, in the place which God has chosen. This is once they get into the promised land. 3 times a year, they shall make pilgrimage before God. And now we're going to tell you what those 3 times are. Bechag ha-matzot. They called it the holiday of matzot. What do you think that was? Passover, right? And then uvechag ha-shavuot. Shavuos, which was, the English is the festival of weeks, right? Uvechag ha-sukkot. And Sukkot, right? The booths, they call it in the English the booths, the festival of booths. So you have the festival of matzah, the festival of weeks, and the festival of Sukkot. Those are the 3 aforementioned times. Velo yir'eh et panei Adonai rakim, and you shall not appear before God on those 3 times empty-handed. That's exactly what it says, without anything in your hand. Ish kibatanat yado kiverchat Adonai Elohecha asher nahatan lach, that each person shall give what they can, what they have, from the berchot, from the blessings that God has given each of you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Amen. And Basel Tov. I'm going to ask that Bryn and Leslie, Avi, let's do a healing prayer right now. I'm going to bring this teak back up to the bima. And while I do that with the Torah, let's bring a healing prayer into this space. But you can be seated.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Larry.
Torah study,
Yes.
Marion mentioned that in this portion is the most time the word joy or rejoicing.
Look at that. Larry Mass. The portion's filled with joy, and so has this service. Perfect. I love that. Thank you, Larry. So I want to kind of introduce healing. Traditionally, when the Torah is read and the Torah is out, is when we bring to mind these healing prayers. And I have a list, as always. I always think about Al Rose, who really kind of always is encouraging us to kind of make sure we name, right, all the people who we're praying for. So thank you for that. It's really on our website and in our services. It's really important. But also we want to ask if there's anyone here, that maybe there's a name not on this list that you'd like to bring into this service. So go ahead, Nancy.
My cousin, Pamela Sawyer, was out in California, and she's been through major difficulties and just came home.
Oh, Refuah Shlema. Nancy, let her know we're thinking about her, okay? Thank you. Yeah, Ellen.
Georgia Davis, a good friend of mine in Dallas.
In Dallas. Oh, no. No. Thinking about your friend, and of course, on this list, the 2 of you sitting together, Dallas friends, and we had, Betty on our list, and of course, Gary on our list, and
reading their names, just kind of like felt like, some form of hope. And just thinking about the two of you and all the people that can use healing for both of you, because mourning, never leaves, but there is a path, so that path contains healing for both of you. So refuah shlema. Yeah, go ahead, Jennifer.
My 97-year-old mother-in-law, Carol Kilmer,
Oh my.
New Salem, Mass. She needs some healing prayers.
Wow, for Tom's mom. 97. We're keeping her in our prayers as well. Thank you. Anyone else over here on this side? How about over here? Karen. Refuah shlema. I hope that there's healing and the notion that every breath is sacred. Yeah. Al. Is he? Ron, another founding charter member, Ron Weil with Ginny. Successful surgery, you say? Well, continued healing. Healing for all of them. Thank you. Anyone else over here? Aim? Oh yeah, Stacy Friedland, one of my first cousins. Thank you. Yeah, grew up with Stacy. Dave. Your mom, refuah shlema. Tell her we're thinking about her. I'm looking over here. Sarah. Thank you for healing. Thank you. Over here, and Avi.
My dad had to go to urgent care on Thursday, and he has to move up the surgery, but they had planned to have in like 2 months, but they're moving it up. So.
For your dad, refuah shlema. I'm gonna. We'll see if there's names from the stream. Miles and Michael.
Yes, we're praying for Toby Schreiber, Joan Granick, Rudy Nissenboim, Brian Bickford, who's dealing with end-stage cancer, for his family, for Amitai Beniso, Jamie, and Megan, and for my grandmother, Susan Koppelman.
Healing for all of them. Thank you, Michael. And I'm going to add a few more names from our list. Andy Cohen, who is Diane Katzman's son-in-law, praying for healing. I know Rabbi Susan went to visit Andy yesterday. Hank Weber, our friend and member. There's Adam Young and Anna Navarro, Harriet's wife and sacred partner. We have Yitzhak ben Mordechai Lev. We have the police officer, Travis Brown, who was hospitalized with a brain injury, the Ferguson police officer. Ricky Reeves, we have Bracha Zelda bat Rachel Golda, Jody O'Sullivan, and how's Heidi doing, Jerry? That's awesome. Tell her we're thinking about her. Jordan Cronemer, our buddy Jordan, Colony Chapel. So for all those people, for those that weren't named but are suffering and ill, let's sing our healing prayer with Leslie and our musicians and our congregation. You can find the Misha Berach, my friends. You're right, 86. Together, a healing prayer.
the renewal of spirit,
and let us say,
Amen.
On the bottom of page 86 is what we call in Jewish prayer the Chatimah. It's actually the modern Hebrew word for signature, but it's the part of the prayer that we hope and pray seals it. It always sort of sums up what the prayer is all about. And of course, this prayer is about healing. So we think about all the people that could use, as we say, a healing of mind, body, and spirit. We say together, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim, blessed is the Holy One who helps us find ways, each of us, of bringing healing to those who are sick. And let us say, Amen. So I kind of made a little audible, an inner audible. I know you all got a sheet of paper, and I was going to share that with you, but I think I'm not, and you can read it on your own if you want, but I'm going to explain about where it came from just a little bit. I did want to talk about Michael Lerner a little bit more, because really he was very influential, not only to me, but I think for many Jews, because of Tikkun magazine, because of his books. He started his own synagogue, kind of a CRC story. They still don't have their own building yet, but a wonderful place in San Francisco called Beit Tikkun. So he knows about branding too, Michael. It's a Jewish renewal congregation, and lots of Michael's sort of spirit and politics. And my understanding is that that congregation will continue even after Michael now has passed away. So I just wanted to show you a few things. I did bring some of these, and just a few significant things about Michael. Besides the magazine, he kind of burst on the sort of progressive Jewish scene with this book. I think this is from the 80s, 94, Jewish Renewal. And it's his kind of take on Jewish renewal, Michael's take. But it's a lot about healing, and not just healing, the healing we were just singing about, but healing the body politic, and trying to analyze and comment about Jewish stories that kind of point them to a more healing sort of place. The story he spends a lot of time on is a story that is part of the high holidays, is part of Rosh Hashanah, one of the most difficult stories in Jewish literature, the binding of Isaac, the Akedah, we call it. And if you ever want to read, the very beginning of this book is all about Michael Lerner's sort of way of talking about the Akedah, which is can be such a wound to read about this, binding of this young man and the attempt to offer him as a sacrifice. Michael writes about this in such a touching and sensitive, holistic way, and a lot of other things as well. But this is kind of his first book that was published, Jewish Renewal. And then, I don't know if many people remember this, but Michael Lerner had his moment in the culture beyond just Jewish and liberal politics. He had this phrase he used over and over, the politics of meaning. Does anyone know who in the public eye sort of took that phrase and started to run with it? Anyone? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton she read Michael Lerner, which is really amazing, and she started to talk about the politics of meaning, and all of a sudden Michael Lerner kind of sort of was put on talk shows, and sort of, like in the mid-90s, sort of had this, again, like this sort of moment that was above and beyond his niche, which is, the Jewish world, the progressive Jewish world, even, I would say progressive politics. And for Michael, the politics of meaning was very central to his thought and philosophy, this idea that human beings were caught between individualism and individual rights and group rights and kind of politics on the one hand, but then they felt like they were bereft of meaning and connection. And then they would look for that, and there was nothing for them. It was either a community that kind of had no spirituality, a religious community, not just Jewish, but a religious community that just, was maybe liberal and progressive, but lacked any kind of communal feeling, and then a more fundamentalist religiosity that had that community feeling, but was lacking in values that resonated with this kind of group of people he's talking about. And Michael always talked about synthesizing progressive politics with progressive spirituality. And that's really his, I think, core thesis, is how to do that in the politics of meaning with that phrase that he created, that Hillary Clinton made sort of part of the politics of the day. She also, by the way, got lambasted for it eventually. There were people who said, oh, it's soft and it's mushy and it's nondescript and what's this politics of meaning? It means nothing. And she stopped using it after a while. And Michael's profile went down kind of back to his original profile, which was significant, but not in sort of that mass way. And then finally, I want to talk about this book, Jews and Blacks, which is a dialogue. It's a whole book of a dialogue between Michael Lerner, and do you see who that is? Cornel West. Whatever you think about Cornel West, he certainly has been part of the culture for decades and an intellectual force. Now he's a candidate for president, But Michael and Cornel became friends. Their friendship was, I would say, difficult at times. They really were friends. They were really connected, but there were things that got caught between them. One of them was Israel and Palestine. Although this is back in, the 90s and early 2000s, it has echoes of what's going on now. But this was Michael Lerner and Cornel West, and they transcribed, it's a book length of their dialogue with each other. I got an email from Karen Kalish, who of course made her life's work about, how do we make sure we maintain this connection between Jews and African American non-Jews and Jews of color in there as well. And she said, in response to my posting about Michael Lerner, she said, for me, his gift was what he wrote about, the alliance and the relationship between Jews and African Americans. And this book is really still, all these books are now 20-ish, 30 years old, but they are very timely, I would say. And Rabbi Michael Lerner was someone, he was a complicated personality. I feel like I'm all of a sudden eulogizing him, but maybe I am. A complicated personality, but he acknowledged it. He called himself a wounded healer, meaning that he had gifts he knew, and he had impact on people, but he knew he wasn't perfect, and he acknowledged it. And he acknowledged the ways that his woundedness, psychic woundedness, not physical woundedness, got in the way of his healing. And that was a model too. He was also a psychologist as well. So that's, he was a big part of the labor movement and anti-war movement. And his name was, and he became ordained as a rabbi later in his life. And I met him on a number of occasions. He was in St. Louis at that church when we were still meeting at the church. He was one of our scholars in residence in the mid-90s. And Rabbi Susan and Rabbi Jim were on their sabbatical. And I just talked to Ed Harris just a couple days ago. He said his love to everybody. But Ed was sort of the interim rabbinic leader while Susan was in Israel on her sabbatical, and that was when Michael Lerner came, and Ed and I kind of reminisced, because it was after Michael had passed away, reminisced about time we got to spend with Michael Lerner when he was here visiting CRC. So may his memory be a blessing. Thank you for indulging me. If you're interested, seek out some of his writings, and I think Tikkun Magazine back issues are still on the web. Amen. Okay. So I'm going to put the Torah away and then conclude with our Kaddish, of course, and our blessings. If you'll all turn, please, to page 90. We got a section from the Proverbs telling us that the Torah is a tree of life, a growing, living tree of life, and I hope that's true for us all. Please stand if you're able. And let's sing with Leslie, Avi, and Bryn, Eitz Chaim. You ready? Eitz Chaim hi
Mavazim ba, v'tol כל נתיבותיה שלום. השכיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש
חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם. Please be seated. I'm going to do a few announcements. We're obviously getting to that point of Elul and the holidays. There's a lot of holiday stuff going on. Hopefully members of CRC received the packet with the holiday schedule. But something that's been a long-time tradition here, you might have seen when you came in, there are trays. Trays that are empty. There's no food in it. There will be trays with food, but I'm talking about the ones without food. That's for anyone that wants to take home and do some baking for the oneg of Erev Rosh Hashanah, October 2nd, and then leftovers on October 3rd. If you want to take a tray, I think there's instructions on each tray about what to do with your baked goods, and then come back on the evening of Rosh Hashanah, and you'll help kind of make sure everybody has a nice oneg on Erev Rosh Hashanah. There are other high holiday volunteer opportunities. There's sign-up posters right now in the oneg room if you want to sign up to volunteer. Your supervisor will be the lovely and talented Amy Gage. So that's a bonus right there to be able to work with Amy. And of course, we have Slichot that starts the high holidays. We have a new member reception. That's September 28th on a Saturday night, the Saturday preceding Rosh Hashanah. Our first taste of high holiday music. Jeff and David and Bryn and Leslie and Alan and a wonderful group of musicians. The first taste of the high holiday music is always Slichot. It's a late service, 9 o'clock. We have a new member reception at 8, so everyone's invited to Slichot. One more announcement, religious school is starting next week. Wednesday is the first day of CRC Religious School for the year. And the religious school is collecting hygiene items to donate to Gateway 180, which is a really, really important homeless shelter, a shelter for unhoused people in St. Louis, downtown. I've been there, I've volunteered there. It says you can help be the change by donating items from our Amazon wish list. We are accepting items through September 7th. In addition, religious school is looking for old magazines with lots of pictures of people, animals, food, and nature. Please bring your magazines to CRC and drop them at the education suite. So that's some of the Tikkun projects you can be part of. I will say that our oneg is sponsored by Joy in honor of her birthday. Now I want to make sure we don't end this service without recognizing those people that are here to say Kaddish, to remember a loved one, whether they are in the year of mourning or whether this is the yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death. So if you are here to say Kaddish, I'll ask you to stand. We want to recognize you and hear the names of the people that you are remembering, and we want to comfort you as best we can as a mourner. So let's start with Maggie. Yes. Yes, Carl Smith. There's so much to say about Carl, but Carl was 87, I believe. He loved this island in Minnesota. He had a house there forever. And his wife Sue passed away about a year and a half ago. But he kept going to Minnesota, and it's where he passed away, this place that he loved. He was adult bar mitzvah right here with Maggie's help, and he came here every Friday night to say Kaddish for his wife. Thank you. And I know, with bar mitzvah with Karen Flotty was one of that group as well. So we remember Carl. Thank you so much, Maggie. So appropriate that you, his teacher, were the one to say his name first. So appropriate. Say Nancy. Oh my goodness. for your grandma. May her memory be a blessing. Thank you. Please.
To Carl, this was such a blessing to me in grief group. And I know he's with Sue. He just, something so special about Carl.
Yeah.
It's very uplifting, and I'm so lucky I got to know him. And my daughter Bella, it'll be coming up on a year, September 26th, if possible. But it's like time just froze, you know. I appreciate the support so much.
We love you, and Bella's memory is a blessing. And we're so sorry as we continue to do everything we can to put our arms around you as you walk this mourner's path. Thank you. And Ellen,
For my husband, Gary, who passed away on April 16th. Grateful for them. With his love and support, everybody's
yeah.
helped me put my foot forward every day.
First time I visited Gary this last round, there was a friend of his there. And I was just so blessed to be a witness of their friendship. I loved the way they talked to each other and loved each other. It was breathtaking. And he was one of the good guys. And we're so sorry for your loss. And we'll keep on saying his name all year long. And Jennifer, Zikrona Livracha, in this time of Shiva and this year of mourning. I know that you have many people who love you and loved your mom, including us here at CRC. And we're thinking about you, and we'll continue to say her name week after week after week. So her memory is not only a blessing to you and your amazing family, but also to your CRC family as well. May her memory be a blessing. Did I miss anybody, Leslie? Yep.
My friend Paul's mother, Alice Wheat, and my grandmother, Alice Bear.
Your grandmother. I hear you say her name, and I feel like I can picture her, you know? Amazing.
She was a wackadoodle.
Uh-huh. Michael, names from the stream.
Yes, we're remembering Denny Bell, Carol Gay, Ted Drews Jr., Yaakov Ben Netanel, and Chelsea's great-grandmother, Ina, who would have turned 95 today.
Oh, wow. Hi, Chelsea. Remembering your grandma. If that's everybody that wants to say name, can everyone else who's able please stand with our mourners? Want to read some names of people who we say Kaddish for at this time. It is the yahrzeit this weekend of Hyman Marks and Isidore Rosenblum, Louise Mandel, Louise, that's missing the E. I knew her, Lisa's mom, Louise Mandel, Martin Schwab, Nathan Grunstein, Patty Twellman, Saul Lubeck, my Aunt Donna Levitz, Janet Haney, Lee Lieberman, Natalie Huffman, that's Karen Tucson's mother, Ruth Bernstein and Teddy Friedman, Paulette's husband, Helen Cooperstein, Jerome Kornfeld, Joan Thimango, Patrick's mom in Kenya, Rini Knofsky-Wolf, Carol Portman's grandmother, Samuel Krupnick and Theodore Berg. Upcoming other yahrzeits, this is a special person. I know to Sally, of course, her dad, Sally Altman, but he was also special to many people, Camp Thunderbird people. It's Gene Altman, whose name was Speedy. Rita Wexler, Gail's mom. Ben Goodman. Joan Shifter, oh man, Joan, right? You know, I was there at Planned Parenthood. That's where Joan worked for years. She was a hero. They renamed the room where she would make her phone calls for the Joan room instead of the phone room. It was awesome. Scott Williams, oh my, Julie's husband. Sidney Plackey, Stan, your dad's yahrzeit coming up on Tuesday. Yeah. And then our more recent deaths, this year's deaths, people who have asked us to say Kaddish for them. We're saying Kaddish for, of course, Carl Smith, and for Jennifer's mom, Betty Miller, for Carol Fajardo and Morris Tamsky, for Michael McCauley and Edwin Pepper, Penelope Moglin and Muriel Hartz, Leanie's mother, Marilyn Schreier, Kenan Thimangu, who was Patrick's father, so this is the yahrzeit of his mother, and we're in the year of mourning for his father. Ivan Rich and Ron Kramer, Stuart Rosenberg and Philip Zatlin, remembering Lawrence Weinberg and Dr. Eduardo Slotopolsky, Eleanor Simpson, a member of CRC, and Joseph's wife, and there's Gary's name, Gary Sewell. Ann Lee Frank and Dana Engelhart, Rhonda Banford, a wonderful member of CRC and David's wife, Ralph Wafer, Deb's husband, Ernest Nicholson and Marilyn Fox, Eileen Ehrlich, Rick Isserman, Myra Levine, Scott's mom, Gina Rotman, member of CRC, died too young, Mitch's wife, Judy Wigder Krivet, Diane Katzman's mother, Yakir Hexter, Chris and Shelley Hexter's grandson, who died fighting in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. Carol Liebson, Miriam Weintraub, Dennis Epstein, Jeff Jappa, another young member of CRC with 4 beautiful boys, who was killed in a car accident back in October. We're thinking about all of those people who fill us with blessings and love. We honor them by stopping everything at these services, and all together as a congregation saying Kaddish for them, our mourners Kaddish, which you can find on pages 96 and 97. For all of them, we say, Yit Kadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Kirutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, B'Chaye Echon v'Yom Echon, B'Chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagalal v'Zman Kari v'Imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach le'olam Olmei Olmaya. Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitpa'ar v'Yitchomam v'Yitnaseh. V'Yithadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Berichu. Le'elamin kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'Imru Amen. Yehi Shlam Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, Uya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom.
Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yahaseh Shalom. Yahaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Amen. Zikronam Livracha. May all of their memories, all of them, be an eternal blessing. Amen. So it's time for our closing blessings of the service. First, we have Kiddush for holiness and for all the sweetness that we've experienced together on this Shabbat. May we have a great rest of Shabbos, a great weekend, a meaningful Labor Day, and then the journey to the high holidays as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Saw the challah bakers on Friday. If you ever want to drop by here on a Friday, the whole place smells like fresh baked challah. It's pretty awesome. That's great. This challah, baked special for us. It's got plenty of pieces because it's meant to share. That's what it's all about. For gratitude and for all of creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. All right. I want to give gratitude again to Bryn and Avi and Leslie for the music, for the Lazaroff family, and we have one more thing to do. Joy, what's your favorite kind of cake? Better be carrot. Guess what? Carrot cake. Carrot cake. Well, you can. You don't have to. You can stay right there. Two things. One is the word for cake in Hebrew is one of my favorite Hebrew words ever. Uga. Ooh, I've got this feeling deep inside of me. I know that one. Uga. So happy Uga, carrot cake birthday. There's enough for everybody, but we have to sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joy. Happy birthday to you. Put your arms around each other in blessing. I hope you can stay for a bit and enjoy the cake and everything else in the oneg, and of course, more importantly, each other's company. There you go. One more look around at the Pnei Shabbat, the faces that made up these Shabbat moments, and let's give each other a blessing. Yivrechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless and keep each and every single one of you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May all that light, the light that is within us, the light that is all around us, bless us and help us feel safe and warm and loved. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may we all carry with us the greatest gift of all, the gift of shalom, peace and wholeness in our hearts and our homes, in our communities. May there be peace for our young people in their schools. May there be peace in our schools, peace in our workplaces, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our state, in our nation. And we dare to pray for peace throughout the whole world, all creation, especially on this Shabbat. May it start now. And let us say amen. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. Thank you so much. I love the drum. You know I love the drum.